Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thankful Season, hosted by Leah from Make All the Things With Me and Lori from Farmhouse Stencil Shop. I'll go into that more later in my video. Right here, I have this bamboo board that was gifted to me, and I am going to do a base coat of blackberry cobbler from Paint Pixie and a top coat of marshmallow, also from Paint Pixie. I am going to use a sponge brush, which I am going to wet. This helps the paint spread a little bit easier. I like to cut off the tips because that will hold a lot of the paint and it will start to get floppy. So I do cut off the tips of my sponge brushes. So for the Thankful Season collab, there will be a playlist link in the description. And for Thankful Season, we can do either fall, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. I chose to do somewhat kind of Christmassy, but it's kind of like boho chic. So this is my contribution. So I hope you stay tuned and enjoy all of this. So right here, I'm just going to use the side of my sponge brush and just spread it around. I'm sure you all have seen this before. If it's not a full coverage, I'm okay with that because I am going to put a top layer on it. I chose to go blue instead of black or dark brown, just because I love the way this paint moves and the way it takes a top coat and everything. So that's why I chose this color. So right here, I'm going to do the candle method of doing the chippy. So I'm just going to take this candle, which I got from Dollar Tree. It smells really good. It just happens to be purple, my favorite color, but it was the one that was closest to me. You can use any type of candle. It can be white or whatnot. This, like I said, this is the candle that I've been using to do my chippy method using candle wax. So I'm just going to rub this all over. You can do it as thick or as thin as you want. And now I'm going to do my top coat with marshmallow from Paint Pixie. The thicker the coat, the more paint will come up. The thinner the coat, some may or may not come up. It just depends. Again, wetting my brush to help spread the paint. And then I'm just going to use my brush to paint all over. This is a really good paint. I've been using it for a while. You see my big bottle of white. I had to get the big bottle because I use white more than anything. But this paint does go a long, long way. So as you can see here, I'm just going to spread it around. Again, I'm not going to make you all just watch me paint. So now it's all done. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use the tape method. You can use the scraping method or whatnot. I like this method because it doesn't make a lot of mess that you have to clean up afterward. You lay your tape down, rub it down, pull it up, and you have a wonderful chippy effect. So that's what I chose to do with this. So I'm just going to lay it down. And this is some cheap packing tape I think I got from somewhere. I found it in a drawer in my kitchen. So I decided to use this instead of my good packing tape. I've used duct tape. I have used painter's tape, which doesn't work as well. And I have used all different kinds of tape. As long as it can lay down and pull up, it'll do a great chippy effect. And the more you press, the more paint it will pick up, but make sure you just go everywhere. So see how that comes out perfectly. No mess to clean up. All you have to do is throw the tape in the trash, but it gives a wonderful effect. See how I did that in the middle, that kind of plain open space? It just takes it up. So you can do this as hard or as much as you want. You can even just do it in certain sections. It doesn't have to be all over. But I absolutely love this method. It just makes it come out so much better. So you see there, I wanted some of that gone because it left kind of wiggly because I only used the point end. So if you want an all over even effect, make sure you use the side end. So here it's all done. I did the entire thing. Some places I went a little bit heavier than others, but that's a beautiful chippy effect. So what I did, I had went over it with dark wax. I'll come back to that. Here I'm going to use my IOD molds, angelic tapers from IOD. I already said that. I'm nervous. I don't know why, since I'm just doing a voiceover and I'm using my DOS clay. So I had to go back and forth with my clay because I hadn't used this in a while. So it kind of had dried out. So I wet it a little bit. And now I'm just working it to soften it up so I can put it into my mold. These molds are so detailed. So I wanted the clay soft enough that I knew that it would catch all the details. Here I'm going to coat all three sections of this mold with cornstarch. This will keep the clay from sticking inside the mold, and it'll come out really easy. But I absolutely love these molds. The newer molds are definitely very good. So I'm done dusting it. Anything that was left over, I tapped it out into the trash. And see, I'm talking while I'm doing this because at first I wasn't going to do a voiceover, but there was so many different noises and things going on that I decided to just do a voiceover because of the way I had to edit my video. But here I'm still working the clay a little bit, making sure it's soft and that is somewhat, hopefully, even all over, because if your clay is uneven, sometimes it will break. Of course, clay as it dries, it will shrink. So that's why I wanted it very soft and very pliable. So I'm just going to roll this into like a snake, and then I'm just going to push it in because this is so detailed. I just didn't want to smush it in, and the way this clay is right now, I couldn't do it in sections. I've done that before and it's actually broke on a project and during the drying process, although I was able to hide it. So if you get any cracks once it's on your project and it dries, you can just fill it in with spackling or with more clay or even just with paint. So right here, as you can see, it popped out because of the cornstarch in it, but I'm just using my thumb. And the IOD mold has like this little lip around it, and if you push up against it, it will section off. So here you see I'm finished with it, and now I'm just going to flip the mold over and let gravity help the mold come out. Sometimes it works, but this is, like I said, so detailed that a little bit of it will catch. But other than that, it came out really well. And doing it this way, the gravity of the clay will automatically pop out. So I'm going to go ahead off camera. Of course, I did the other two. It came out really pretty. So now you can see here's all three of them, and they're so pretty. Very detailed, very detailed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Marshmallow, again, from Paint Pixie, and I'm just going to paint them all over. And I'm using a chippy brush. You might want to use a softer brush. Mine left some brush strokes in it, so I went back over with a softer brush. Just to get some of those strokes out of it because my clay is still wet at this time. If you wait until the clay is dry, it works better, but for video purposes, of course, I did not wait. I went ahead and I started painting them. So I'm just doing light brush strokes. And as you can see, the clay is kind of moving. That's why, if you're not doing it for video, let your clay dry. Let it dry and it'll be a lot easier. I could have put it on tape, but with it being wet, I didn't want to take that chance. So I'm just making sure, brushing in different directions to make sure I get in every nook and cranny because of the details on this mold. So I'm just making sure I go all the way down to the pad that I have these on to make sure I can get all the way down to the bottom, because once I put it on my project, I don't want to have to try to paint down in there. Sorry for my hand being in the way again. Part of this video is a collab with a playlist, and I will link that So it's hosted by Leah from Make All the Things With Me and Lori from Farmhouse Stencil Shop. So here they're all done. I dried them up. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to add some Candy Apple by Paint Pixie. And I'm going to mix that with the white to get a pink color because I don't have a pink. And I wanted to stick with Paint Pixie for this particular project. And I think the other two used the white but not the other two colors. So I'm just mixing this up to make my pink. And of course, you can mix your colors until you get the color pink that you want. The more white, the more pastel it would be. The more red, the more brighter it will be. So I'm just adding a little more white, and I'm just mixing that up as best as I can. I could have did it in a bowl, but I was tired this night, and I was trying to videotape after working all day. And I said if I do at least one per night, I can get this done after working about 10 hours. So I love the way this turned out. So, but make sure you go and look at all my creative sisters and check out what they have to offer in this collaboration. This is my second collaboration for YouTube, and I really enjoy doing these because you get to see all the different stuff that creators have to offer. So you might get some ideas for Christmas or even for last minute fall ideas or Thanksgiving centerpieces. So please stay tuned. All right, so then I'm going to take a fan brush and I'm basically going to dry brush this color on there. I don't even know what color to call it except maybe like a pale pink. When you make your own colors, you never know what color you're going to get. So don't be scared to do that. Just mix your own colors until you get the color that you want. So here I loaded my brush. Now I'm going to offload it. And I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to hold this brush because, of course, if you get too much of one color on, you can always go back over it in white, which I went over all three pieces. Now I'm going to use Cream Coat in gold, the Luxe Metallic, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just dry brush it and bring out some of the details. And I chose gold instead of silver. I don't know. I guess it seemed more Christmassy. I don't know. I guess because I just like the color. It looks really, really pretty. I'm going to do the same thing, load up, and then offload it. And then I'm just going to go across all three pieces. Here I was like, okay, go softly, go softly. And then I said, girl, forget it. Just brush. Just brush it on there. Again, if you get too much color in one place, go back over it with your either your base coat or with your second coat, your middle coat. So I'm just going over it, making it look all pretty. All done, all done. So here you see the wax. I put wax on it. It was too dark. I didn't like it. But I'm going to bring these up to the camera so that you can see all the beautiful details on these angels. I mean, they came out really, really pretty. So I put the dark wax on, didn't like it, went back over it with white paint. So you can still see the chippy, but you don't see all the dark wax. You see some darkness to it to make it look a little antique. So here I got some little flat back pearls from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go all the way around the outside with them. I was thinking about using these, and I was like, no, because I'm using gold, and these have more of a silver tone. There's nothing wrong with mixing your metals, but on this one, I just decided to stay with gold, and in a moment, you'll see why I decided to stick with gold. And I'm thinking to myself, I should have used hot glue on these, but I mean, they stuck. If I sell the piece, I will pull these off and I will use hot glue under them so that they can stay. Because I forgot, Dollar Tree can be hit and miss when it comes to some of their stickers. So here you see I got all the way around. And now I'm going to use this gold floral piece. It's like an evergreen, but it's gold. And I'm going to put those in between the tapers and just build them up. I was going to do them like this, but I decided I think they'll look better cut apart. So I will end up cutting them apart. You'll see that in the final project, and I use Fabri-Tac to put these down. And these are solar wood flowers. If you're interested, I will also put the link because I'm an affiliate for solar wood flowers as well. I love solar wood flowers. They're so pretty in so many different types, but I did use this to put them down. I did have to use a little bit of super glue, not super glue, hot glue. Super glue probably would have worked. But yeah, for some reason, the Fabri-Tac did hold, I guess, just not fast enough for me. So I used Fabri-Tac and hot glue. And you see here, I put it down, but I didn't like it all clumped like that. So I decided to take them apart and cut them apart from each other so that it lays out flatter. To me, it looks better instead of just all clumped up. But it's up to you. And see, there's the final project. I also will do it at the end. So again, Farmhouse Stencil Shop, make all the things with me. Though those are our hosts. For my second one, I'm doing this birdhouse that I got from Sherry's Decor and More. She's on Facebook, and you have to put it together. I did videotape me putting it all together, but I was like, don't nobody want to sit through all that. So I put it together, and then I am going to stain it with chocolate by Paint Pixie. I put the chocolate in the bowl with some water, and it's more like a stain instead of a paint, just like you would do any paint. If you add water to it, it stains it. So my birdhouse is all put together, and of course you'll see it at the end, but it came out really nice. I like the way the roof is, where it looks like little bricks, but I don't have a lot of patience. So there was no way I was gonna like do different shades or anything, because again, this is on a different night. And again, I for time I decided to do it like this, and I'm gonna stain it all over. As you can see, I did put more water in some places to lighten it up, so there is variations of color. I said that would work better than me trying to do different shades of brown. So as you can see here on the side, some of the paint did get on there, but I wasn't worried about it because I'm going to use Paint Pixie and Marshmallow to cover that up. And here I painted kind of slow. Again, I'm not going to make you sit and watch me paint this, but I did paint. I spray water on my paint brushes. This helps that when you go to wash your paintbrushes, the paint comes out a little bit easier. So here I'm just going around and trying not to get any on the roof. And as you can see, it's kind of like a tri-level roof. The pieces, the way she did hers, the longer piece that's at the top was at the bottom. I just switched them around because it looked better to me. When you buy these kind of kits, however you do it, that's how you do it, because it is now yours and you do what makes your eyes happy. Just like you don't have to use the colors I use any colors that work for you. Sorry, my hand is in the way. Just trying to get this all the way around. And I hope I'm not talking too fast. I'm just trying to keep up with the video. I'm just trying to keep up. Another long day before I did my voiceover, hoping a train doesn't come through, because I live right by some train tracks. As a matter of fact, they're right across the street from my house. So I'm just going to go over this with this marshmallow. And like I said, this is very good paint. And then, of course, you don't have to put the perch on. I do put the perch on. It's actually extra long, so however you do it is up to you. And I went all the way around and I painted the bottom half of the birdhouse in white. So here I'm showing you that I painted all the way around in white. Now the walls can be slanted out. I chose to stand them straight up because that's the way I liked it, so I stood them straight up. But they can be slanted out like the front is at the bottom. So now what I'm going to do, I am going to dry brush some chocolate around. I'm explaining that I didn't paint the inside of the hole because I'm going to put moss there, and of course the perch is going to be put in. So I am getting some white, and I'm going to dry brush the top of the birdhouse first. I'm going to do the roof first. Totally forgot about that. When you videotape these and then you do the voiceover, sometimes you forget in which order you did stuff. So that's why I'm a little confused. I barely remember what I ate for breakfast. So I'm just going to dry brush the roof. And then, of course, if you go too heavy here, you can either sand it or just go back over it with brown. So now I'm going to put some brown down, and I'm going to dry brush all the white areas. And I am mixing it a little bit with white so it's not too heavy. Every time I dry brush with brown, for some reason, I do it so heavy. So I decided to mix it with just a little bit of white. So if it's too heavy, the white is already in there. So I'm all done going all the way around with the brown. So now what I'm going to do is I got some more solar wood flowers. And there's the perch. The perch is really, really long. So how far in or how far out that you want it to stick is up to you. And I'm just going to do a little bit of hot glue. I went all the way around, and then I'm just going to stick it in. I was worried about the hot glue that's sticking out, but it's going to be hidden by some moss. And the moss I'm using is moss I think I got from Walmart. I'm not sure. It was in my stash. A lot of this was in my stash, and I decided to pull it out. So I don't know why I'm showing you that I'm cutting one of my long glue sticks down in half, because I don't like them when they're long. Oh my goodness. Sometimes when you go back and watch this when you're doing the voiceover, it's hilarious because you forget all the stuff that you did. So here I'm just trying to break it up, and of course the moss is very, very messy. I guess that's probably why it's been in my stash for so long. Then I'm just going to put that up there, and then once I sit it up, whatever falls off, I'll just clean it up. But yeah, I don't use moss a lot. But I thought this would look really pretty because I'm going to use the boxwood that's in the background. So I had to sit this up so that I can see where to put this on top of my perch. I apologize for that, but I'm going to sit it back on its back so you all can see what I did. This just made it easier for me to work with. And I guess I could have angled my camera. Next time I'm going to have my camera further away so you all can see everything, because it was right above my table. Because I'm used to sitting in front of the camera on lives instead of the camera facing downward. I'm going to get better at this. I promise I will. And so that's what I did to it. I think I'm going to add just a little more hot glue there, and I think somewhere at the top, and try to get all the glue strings. If you have glue strings, just hit it with your heating tool and it'll get rid of all the glue strings. So here I'm just looking for some wood flowers to use. I'm going to put, I think, a couple at the top and one near the bottom with some of the boxwood. I get my boxwood from Walmart. I have so much boxwood. I guess because it's something easy that you can use on different types of projects. Even though it's fall, you don't have to use like dried out leaves or whatever. You can still use green. I mean, Christmas trees are green, right? So it's all up to you. I mean, it's yours. Make it yours. Do what makes you happy. That's what I always say. Do what makes you happy, because it is yours and you're the one that's going to have to see it every day. This one I have not sold since no one has seen it, but I probably have a buyer in mind for all three pieces that I'm doing in this video. So here you see me cut off the back so that as I glue them down, they won't be sticking out kind of awkward. Again, how you do this is totally up to you. And I think this came out really, really pretty. So here I'm just cutting them all off instead of sticking a a big bunch there. I'm going to do them one at a time. Be careful with your hot glue if it's high temp, because it will melt the little bottom. I was trying to show it, but I didn't want it to fall on my finger either, because you will see the bottom start to curl because the hot glue is so hot. But I cannot find my low temperature glue tool. I don't know what I did with it. I'm sure I'll find it when I don't need it. That's usually how it works. When you don't need it anymore, that's when you'll find it. So I'm just going to add little pieces here and there. How much you add or not add at all is totally up to you. So here I'm just going to use my silicone spatula to put that down. I guess the tip wasn't strong enough, so I used the handle. We use whatever we can find to make sure that we get stuff stuck down where we want it. So here I'm still adding more at the top. Sorry, it's out of camera range. I keep forgetting. I think when I put this to crop it, or the ratio, I think it was a little bit different for the way I had videotaped it. So there is that. And again, thank you for joining us for our Thankful Season hosted by Farmhouse Stencil Shop and Leah Make All the Things With Me. So here I'm showing everything I'm going to use, which I didn't do with the other two. I'm not going to mix colors for this one, but this is a jar I got from Dollar Tree for Halloween. I'm going to use Paint Pixie and Marshmallow, and then I'm using Folk Art, I think in Pale Pink, and then Glitter Pink paint. Some roses that were gifted to me from a friend. And let's get started. And some bulbs I got from Dollar Tree as well. So I did take a cotton ball with acetone to get off all the print on the front of the jar. I'm all late. Sorry about that. But yeah, I just used acetone. It did leave kind of a film on it, but I wasn't worried about it since I was going to paint over it with white paint. And I did 2 coats of this paint because it is plastic. So here it's all done. There's my lid, and there is the pink and the pink glitter. I don't know if I think I used just a little bit of the pink glitter one, or if I had all. I can't remember. So I'm just going to dry brush. I'm also going to pull off the bottom of those flowers. I didn't like the way they looked. And I'm also going to I'm going to actually paint the roses, the tips of the roses with the pink, just to give them some color. And of course, you can go as light or as heavy as you want. And I started doing it light, and I was like, So I just kept going and kept going until it got darker. And then that's when I was like, okay, I like it better. So I'm going to do all 3 of them, so you can see the difference of how they look with and without paint. So off camera, I'm going to do the other 2 roses. And of course, you can go dry brush on your lid, or you don't have to at all. You can just leave it white. I decided to dry brush that and the jar. And be careful when you use heat on this jar, it will melt. Mine did. And there it is, all decorated. I don't know what happened to it showing me decorating, but thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate you all being here. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I do. Please go check out the link for all the other videos. And thank you so much for your time and everything. And again, thank you to Leah and Lori. Leah from Make All the Things With Me, and Lori from Farmhouse Stencil Shop. The stencil on the jar is from the DIY Struggle, and they're dry rub-ons. And I actually think I used for the end of that video, I used the wrong clip, so I apologize for that. But that's what it looks like. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me. Subscribe and follow. Bye.